Hey, what's going on? My name is Jelena from Ostrovska.com, and in this video, I'm going to give you a book review on Ask Gary Vee by Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, so this is probably one of the most popular books this year because he just released it. I believe it's his fourth book, and I actually wanted to read it for quite some time, but I just recently got a chance to finally dig into it. And I'll tell you, first of all, I did take a lot of notes. Okay, so I am going to give you 6 of my biggest takeaways, but there's obviously a lot more because the book is pretty, it's a pretty big book, okay? So it took me quite some time to read it because I really wanted to dive in. Like, I seriously, whenever it comes to reading, I read every single word of the book, okay? So, and I found so many good insights and so many amazing takeaways. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, even though Gary Vaynerchuk is not a big fan of network marketing, but he is the smart guy. Okay, you gotta admit that, even though like maybe you don't like him because he doesn't like the industry or whatever. But the point is, number one thing I do want to mention, this is like everything, like in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of building a business, in terms of mindset, in terms of social media. It's serious, like the book to read for every single business owner. Okay, so if you're serious about growing your home business, I would highly recommend the book. And here's what I like about the book. I always kind of mention the structure of the book in my book reviews, and even though the book is pretty big book, right? The reason I like it is because, first of all, the chapters are somewhat short, right? 15, 20 pages, like maybe a little bit over 20 pages, but the point is it's very, very easy to read. I mean, I believe there were a couple of words, there were a few words that I had to translate because I'm Russian, right? So, but the thing is, the language is very simple, okay? And another thing is, this is what I absolutely love in terms of books, because if the book is like really long, really big book, and the chapters are, like super long, it's just difficult to consume, right? But here is like, Gary actually broke down every single chapter into kind of like mini chapters. Okay, so let's say he has a topic about education, which was probably one of the most interesting ones for me. Right? So, and he has like questions from his fans. Okay, so he had, his fans asking him questions and, like related to different topics, and he just combined his answers and put them together in the book. That's why, I mean, when it comes to like chapters, they're really broken down into like kind of small mini chapters. So that's something I really enjoyed about the book. Okay, so. And here are my takeaways. Okay, so the takeaway number one, which is it just so resonated with me, and I really hope it will resonate with you, especially if you're maybe just getting started in the home business industry, maybe you're starting some kind of company or whatever. The first step is always the most difficult, right? So because you don't have the momentum, you don't have the results, you don't have your brand established, you're just getting your feet wet, and that's where most people actually blow up. They like, or blow out, like however you say that. But the point is, most people just give up because they say, well, it's just too difficult, this doesn't work. I mean, I tell you, well, I had to blog for 6 months straight, 5 to 7 times a week, to start getting consistent lead flow. And I've done it ever since. Right now I do blog 4 times a week, but I've been doing that over a year. So I do, get consistent amount of leads every single day. In the beginning, it was really difficult. And I will tell you what, in the beginning, just starting a business, it was really tough because no one knew me. And it was, you have to just keep going to get your name out there and to start really getting some results in your business. And another thing is, in terms of that particular takeaway, Gary did mention that most people, it's not the fear of failure, because, I mean, who is afraid of failure? Like, I'm not afraid to fail, but we as human beings, we're actually afraid to fail in front of somebody who we care about. So, like, because what would they say if I fail? Like, what would my family say about me if I don't make it happen? They would be like, oh, like, she tried this, but it didn't work, and she decided to go do something else. I didn't want my family to say that kind of stuff. I did fail for my first 2 years in network marketing, but I decided to keep going so that actually people can say something nice about myself, right? And about my results, obviously, right? So, you're not really afraid of failure. You can fail, but it's really the person that you're failing in front of. Okay, so that was, pretty big takeaway. So the takeaway number 2 is this is big for network marketers because we're always trying to talk to people and like convert them into our businesses and like, to have them join. And he said, don't try to convert everybody. Okay, don't try to convert anybody, to be honest, but talk to the ones that are already converted. So what do I mean by that, right? So, and had I read this book 2 years ago, I would not understand a single thing, because here's the point. Whenever you are building a network marketing business in the beginning, you're obviously going to be going to prospect people. You're obviously going to be going, maybe some cold market prospecting, maybe some social media, prospecting, that kind of stuff. And that's fine. That's something that you've got to be doing unless you have people coming to you, right? And this is the power of really social media and creating content and the attraction marketing, because all the people that I've talked to within the last, 3 to 4 to 5 months, depending on when you're watching this video, all of them, they came to me and they asked me about how they can work with me. So that's a pretty powerful concept. I didn't have to convert them because they already were converted by the value that I provide to the marketplace. And you can do the exact same thing. If you just start providing good quality content for your target audience through videos, Facebook Lives, blog posts, little status updates, images on Instagram, or like Pinterest images or videos. This is something that, people will come to you. But as a network marketer, in the beginning, you do have to talk to literally like a lot of people, okay? But then, you'll get to the point where you have people coming to you that already know, like, and trust you, which is something that the internet can really do for you in terms of, spreading out your content, right? So don't try to convert anybody, but talk to the ones that are already converted, right? So number 3, don't count on college to get something in return. And for me, it was pretty big because I didn't go to college, and I'm not going to say that I'm against college, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of that regular path when you go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job, retire, and the end, right? So that didn't really sound like a lot of fun to me. So that's why, to be honest, there's nothing to count on when it comes to college, because I know plenty of people, and actually like my parents' friends, most of them, they've gone to college or university, however you call it, and they studied, for example, for a lawyer, for one profession, and then they ended up working as a hairstylist or whatever. So they usually never work based on the profession that they chose in the university. So, and what Gary Vaynerchuk mentioned is go to university to make connections. That's the only way to really make college useful, but don't really expect anything out of it, because there's no guarantees, as most people think about them, right? So that's just, in my opinion, in general. So I'm not really a huge fan of colleges, okay? So takeaway number 4, make sure you execute before you become a big brand that people talk about. Because in the beginning, you are really not a brand, right? You're just like, someone who's trying to build a business, someone who's just getting started. But eventually, once you get the results, once you take action on what you're learning, and then you make a name for yourself based on your results. Because 2 years ago, even over a year ago, I was not a brand, right? And I'm still growing, like we're all still growing. But the point is, I was not really like a brand. I couldn't really think of myself as a brand because I had 0 results. I had nothing to really like showcase. So I was just like, 20-year-old kid, who hasn't gone to college to just, to build some kind of business, right? So, Gary said, this is like, I'm not going to like put this in the exact words that he did, but he said, our ideas are nothing, but execution is everything, okay? So when you have an idea to start a business, it's just an idea. But when you actually execute on it, then you get the results, you make that idea happen, and then you become a brand that people know about. So pretty good concept. So takeaway number 5, this is huge. Do not let your circumstances determine your outcomes, because a lot of people, they say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, I don't know, like I'm not able to hear something, or let's say I have some kind of disability, right? Or they say, I'm I don't know, like I'm 21, I don't know if I can do this business. Like I'm 19, like, when I started the business, I was 18, right? And when I took it seriously, I was 19. Not a huge difference, but I was really not certain if I could make it happen, right? So, I mean, your circumstances have nothing to do with your outcomes, but you will have to get past them and understand that if there's someone else with worse circumstances than you are, and they created success despite those, then you have no excuses, okay? And last but not least, takeaway number 6, I absolutely love it, which is you cannot change your output if you are not willing to change your input. So whatever you put in your head, whatever you put even in your stomach, it's always going to reflect on the output. So whatever you put in your head, in your stomach, it's always going to be reflecting on the kind of results that you have, the kind of life that you live. Everything that's happening from the inside is directly proportional to what you put on the inside. So are you reading every single day? Are you doing personal development every single day? Are you, just eating some junk food, or are you actually like eating some good nutrients? Or what is that you're doing? What kind of input do you have? So if your output sucks, then there's a good chance that your input sucks as well, right? So here you go. Here are my 6 of the biggest takeaways from Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Ask Gary Vee. I really hope you got some value from this video. If you did, like it, comment below your thoughts. Let me know to the comments if you read the book. If you haven't, definitely read it. I highly recommend it, even for network marketers, because, I mean, you will always learn something new from that, right? And also feel free to share this with your team. Like, even though Gary Vaynerchuk is not a huge fan of network marketing, but he's a pretty smart dude when it comes to marketing and branding and building a business. So, and also feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like that. And if you're looking to receive those videos and trainings and tips on building your home business in your email inbox, then head on over to my blog at JelenaOstrovska.com, click on the sidebar banner over there, enter your name and email information, and you'll be added to my newsletter, and as well as you'll receive a free ebook as a bonus. And I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.